the whole concept of the doubting around a person's own ability, believability, deservability, and permissibility, actually addressing the doubts around those 4 areas of a person's life and their goals is one of the steps in the law of vibrational theory. It just is so impactful when people can actually write out in their journal and discuss with themselves and take their power back from wherever they've given it away and be able to apply it to their own business, to their own goals, has been very fulfilling on my end to help these people do that, and then to identify those 4 areas and how they tie into goal setting.
This podcast is part of the Blueberry Network, where listeners and podcasters come together. Find out more at blueberrywithnoease.com.
The Eat Sleep Right podcast is brought to you by a generous grant from the Built on Dreams Media Network, with additional funding by the Sims Media Foundation, and from the generosity of listeners like you.
Stand by, please. Rolling on 6. On 6.
Welcome, everyone, to episode 52 of the Eat Sleep Right podcast, available at eatsleepright.net and downloadable in the iTunes Store. The Eat Sleep Right podcast is also available at the Public Radio Exchange at prx.org. I'm your host, Adam Scull. Regular listeners know my purpose here is to find out how writers got to be an author, how they got where they are, how they do what they do, and how they go from a blank page to a finished manuscript. If you enjoy the Eat Sleep Right podcast or had your own success in writing, I'd like to hear from you. Tell me about yourself and your story, and I may get back to you and ask you to be a guest on the Eat Sleep Right podcast. If you have any questions or comments, anything at all, please write me. The email address is comments@eatsleepright.net. Catherine Olson, thank you for being with me on the Eat Sleep Right podcast. It's great having you with me today.
Thank you for having me.
What gave you the idea to write this book and create this course?
Well, it was about 7 years ago, actually. I was coaching a fellow coach, and that person, her name was Siobhan, she was just bantering. We were on this flow. I had this event happened to me where there was a download, and it sounds hokey to me, even now with my academic side of my life, that I had a download. A lot of authors, Stephen King has talked about this, where you get this idea, you get the concept for a book, and it feels as if it comes through you, not from you. From the universe, from the source. It was very, very mind-blowing. My body just trembled, and I had to ask Siobhan, please hold for just one moment while I write this down. And she laughed because she felt it too. It's when the title of the book came, the major concept. And then over the last 7 years, there were many times I received more downloads, more puzzle pieces that came to me regarding this book. And it was from my coaching. I was working on doing internet marketing coaching at the time. It just was an amazing event. It was only just 2 years ago that the law of attraction was tied into the entire concept of the book, and it's a very down-to-earth approach to the law of attraction. And I discuss a lot of that in my book.
What is SOS, Success or Sabotage, and what does it mean?
That was part of what downloaded for me. SOS, Success or Sabotage. SOS being a cry for help, because that is the way a lot of clients come to me in my coaching practice. And success or sabotage were the choices that most of my clients make and still do in my coaching practice today. Success or sabotage with their life, with their business, and I especially attract entrepreneurs.
How did you come up with the title?
It was part of the download, the original download, SOS, Success or Sabotage. And I just went with it. I didn't second guess it at that point, like I did many other things about the book. And that's one of the reasons it took so long to write the book, is all of the second guessing not trusting my intuition. And part of the book is learning how to trust your own intuition and learning how to self-guide.
What is the law of vibrational theory?
The law of vibrational theory is an evolved concept of the law of attraction. In the law of attraction, I've studied it, I've played with it, I have read so many books over the years about the law of attraction. And it has 3 steps. You ask, the universe answers, you align yourself to receive. And a lot of people just had no idea what number 3 meant. What does that even mean? And that was my big question. And as I looked at what I did to harness the law of attraction, I realized there were 7 steps, which involve action as well as the initial 3 steps of the law of attraction. So the initial 3 steps just evolved.
How do the rules of attraction fit in with success or sabotage?
Well, the law of attraction is really, it's a universal law, and it's all about how your thoughts create your life. Your thoughts create your feelings, which also creates your life, your experience of life. Those things that you think about and feel about, not those things that you want per se, but those things that you think about and feel about are those things that are attracted into your life on a regular basis. Problem most people have with the law of attraction is the way it's been presented over the years from several sources makes it appear as if you can just sit back and think and feel all you want and everything comes to your life that you ask for. And that's not always the case, because you get contrast. You get so many things that you realize you don't want in life. Those things are okay because then they allow you to get more clear about those things that you do want in your life. And so many people believe and felt, first of all, when The Secret came out about 6 years ago, 5 years ago, I had not seen anywhere where it says you don't have to act, you don't have to take action on some of the feelings and thoughts that you do get. It was just not there, but so many people saw this movie, read the book, listened to the audio series, and thought they could just think and get what they want. But the law of vibrational theory also has you act. There are certain actions you take in the 7 steps, as well as ask, align yourself, and receive. There's 7 steps. You do have to go into analyzing where you are with how you doubt yourself in your own ability, believability, deservability, and permissibility. I go over a lot of those concepts and what they mean and how they relate to the law of vibrational theory.
You clearly are making your clients think about what they want and what they need to do. But with all that you've said, how do you manage to take all these myriad of thoughts and write them out? Did it all happen right away?
It took me 7 years to get it all out of me, just because I was waiting for more information, more downloads, more pieces to this puzzle. There were points that just was not coming. Mostly I would get these downloads when I had a very substantial, very profound session with a client.
When you first decided you were going to write a book, how did you start assembling all these thoughts into a cohesive manner?
It was difficult, and that's why it took 7 years. There were times I had to set it down for months. There was nothing else I could write about. The writing itself, the writing process itself was fairly easy. What was difficult was waiting for the next inspiration, the next puzzle piece to actually come. It was something I could not force. Once I got a literary agent out of New York, this was just last year, that's when the law of vibrational theory term came to me and the focused expansion rule term came to me, and those are explained in the book. Most of the writing, however, is dialogue that I would have with clients. A lot of the information I learned about success and sabotage came through when I was coaching and working with my clients. The employee mindset, the entrepreneurial mindset, those are things I coach, and I've coached for 13 years. Those were easy. They were as if I was just coaching. I was writing as if I was coaching. The writing process itself was very difficult.
What was the most difficult part about writing this book?
Waiting for the next inspiration, because I wanted to get the book done.
What was the most interesting thing that you learned as the writer of the book?
Finding how to flow one concept into the other, such as the employee mindset and the entrepreneurial mindset, and how they relate to the law of attraction, and how to just tie it all together and then play with it. That was the interesting part, is I was able to actually take what I wrote and implement it and find even more success in my own life with what I was doing with my goals in life and my relationships and in business.
Essentially, you're writing about your experiences when you coached your clients.
Yes.
Was it difficult for you to put the book away for such long stretches?
It did bother me. I've had a lot of projects over the years that kept me very busy. I felt that the book had its own timing, and that is what really relieved me most of the time. When I felt stress about getting this book done and getting it out there, sharing this message with everybody, it has its own timing. I believe that timing's now. The last download finally helped me finish the book. I've received 4 more downloads, though, since I finished the book in April.
Tell me more about the book.
The book really is very different from so many other books out there because of tying in some very down-to-earth concepts with the law of vibrational theory, the focused expansion rule, and then tying it into real life, tying it into real strategies that help people get out of their own way, especially entrepreneurs. Those people who are working to get to the next level, working to even just launch a business. It really can impact them like it has so many of my clients already. The whole concept of the doubting around a person's own ability, believability, deservability, and permissibility, actually addressing the doubts around those 4 areas of a person's life and their goals, is one of the steps in the law of vibrational theory. It just is so impactful when people can actually write out in their journal and discuss with themselves and take their power back from wherever they've given it away and be able to apply it to their own business, to their own goals, has been very fulfilling on my end to help these people do that, and then to identify those 4 areas and how they tie into goal setting, the law of vibrational theory. It just really helps so many people. Every single person I've shared this with, it has made a huge impact on. It is different because all those other books and courses and videos, the training materials that people can get their hands on, really only deal with maybe 1 or 2 of those 4 areas. I call them the itty words: ability, deservability, believability. The itty words have made such a huge impact, and that's one of the areas I really started the book around, was the itty words. These words have helped so many people. I have one client. He had a wife that was clinically depressed. Through every week that we would churn on, through the assignments I would give him, he would have a hard time getting to it because he was dealing with a very, very depressed wife who would always find a way to bring him down, distract him from the to-do list, the assignments that I would give him each and every week. When I finally got to the itty words, it was a matter of just saying, hey, look, you can use everything that's happening in your life as your excuses, or you can use them as your reasons. And here's some itty words that you can work on. There were other concepts, of course, that we were working on. He finally took it seriously, and within about a month, he noticed how he was influencing his wife to the point where she started reducing her medication based on her clinical depression, because I really do focus in on how the brain is biologically wired and how we can use certain techniques and strategies to create new neural pathways from that employee mindset, and using the concepts of the 4 itty words to then pull yourself more into an entrepreneurial mindset. And this is what he was doing, and it was influencing his wife. It was amazing. When he took these concepts seriously, applied them to his life regularly, daily, how his wife was even affected by the whole strategy and concepts of everything that as it tied together.
What is it about your book that separates it from others of the same genre?
The fear-based thoughts are really a result of doubts. With my 4 itty words, addressing the doubts around ability, believability, deservability, and permissibility, it really does eliminate fear, because those are the underlying issues that create fear. There are so many books that address fear, but they don't address the underlying issues. They don't address believability, deservability, and permissibility. A lot of them address ability. Some of the books and some of the other courses out there address only believability. Believe in yourself. Believe, believe, believe. If you only just believe. But there's so much more to it than just believing. My book addresses that.
How about an excerpt from the book?
I certainly can. Okay, let's get right to work. No fluff, no bull. Identifying your ability and the doubts that get in the way may be the easiest sexual